Hey guys, this is Mel, and I'm here to talk about Arrow, episode 523, titled Lian Yu, which premiered Wednesday, May 24th, 2017 on the CW. This is the season 5 finale, guys, so I'm recording on May 28th, 2017, so it's a few days since the finale has aired, so huge spoiler alert. If you haven't seen the episode already, please go do so first, then come back and see what I have to say about the episode. Otherwise, my other video reminders are up on screen right now, so take a moment to remind yourselves of those. And with that all said, let's start with the 10-minute clock, and let's begin with what happened in this season finale. So timeline-wise, this continues immediately from 522 in regards that Slade is in Slade Wilson's prison, Argus Cell prison, on Lian Yu and asking him for help. So it really picks up right where the previous episode left off. Episode reminder is the fact that this is Prometheus's final act. We get to see just truly what all this has come down to. Now, the breakdown of the episode, I pretty much found three different acts, I guess you could say. The first one dealing with Oliver getting his Argus recruitments. Second one being the search for Team Arrow, and the third one being the search for William. Now, with the first one, we get Oliver getting to the island with Malcolm and Issa, and then him going to Slade to recruit him for his help, and then also Digger Harkness, who is also in an Argus cell. So we see that happening. Now, we see all of them try to find members of Team Arrow, which leads us to story point number 2. The first group was found in the woods, and that consisted of Thea, Felicity, Curtis, and Samantha Clayton, aka William's mom. So there's that. But the group gets ambushed by Evelyn and Talia and their men, and this is where we found out that Digger Harkness betrays them, and he's actually working with Prometheus instead. He offered a better deal. So there's that. The second group that we see, they are actually in the temple, and this consists of Renee, Dina Drake, Diggle, and Lance. They are being guarded by Black Siren. When Oliver and Nisa try to find them in the temple, we get Slade betraying Oliver, only for it to be a trick so that Oliver could get to his team members and give Dina the device that Curtis had created for her, which is the device that will allow her powers to go through any power dampening device. Also, this is where we see Adrian Chase for the first time. This is also where the first fight breaks out, so we do see all that happening at the temple. And then it leads to storyline number 3, which is the search for William, and this search leads Oliver on a boat with Adrian Chase, and this is where William is actually being held hostage, and we see the final play out between the two of them with that, though. Now, moving on to flashbacks, though. Flashbacks show Oliver going against Kovar until Oliver snaps his back. Very similar in regards to how Oliver came back to Starling City and killed those thugs by breaking one of them's back and saying that no one can know my secret. It's pretty much reminiscent of that, and it makes sense because for us, the flashbacks, this flashback would have happened maybe a few days before Oliver's returning Starling City at that point. So also we see Oliver putting on his disguise and getting discovered by the fishermen. It's pretty much a replay of Oliver's introduction in the pilot episode, so there's that. And then we also get to see Oliver getting his phone call out to his mom, Moira. So it's great to see her again in that regard, and they finally have a little reunion there before actually seeing each other again. Now, last moments of the episode show Adrian Chase killing himself, which ends up setting off the explosions he had placed all over Lian Yu. And the last we saw of everyone on Oliver's team, they were stuck on Lian Yu after discovering that the only plane that they can leave from was sabotaged by Adrian Chase. So Oliver has William in his arms, and they have watched the island explode, not knowing if anyone that was on the island survived it or not. So there's that. Tidbit-wise, though, we are given the impression that Malcolm sacrifices himself for Thea when she activates a landmine and he takes her place. We don't actually see him get killed, though, and considering himself to be named the Magician, I'm still not believing that he's dead. Also, considering we thought he was dead in the season 1 finale, only to find out in season 3 or season 2 he was actually alive. So there's that. We see Felicity kissing Oliver before they are separated. She kisses him for a just in case type of thing. Oliver tells her, we'll talk about things when we return home. He has faith that they will be reunited again, and she's covering all her bases. So there's that. Also, we get Lance dubbing Dina Drake as Black Canary, because beforehand she was just going as Canary from the sounds of it. So there's that. And also we get Nisa blaming her sister Talia for abandoning her to be in the care of their father. And we also see Nisa bringing up how she was always a disappointment to her father, Ra's al Ghul. So there is that. Moving on to the most shocking moment of the episode, I have to say it was the fact that Prometheus killed himself to set off the explosives on the island. I wasn't expecting that, though, considering how crazy he is. It doesn't really surprise me that he would go to those lengths. I'm just surprised it actually went to that scenario. So there's that. But moving on to top 3 favorite moments, I have to say the fight scenes in the episode were definitely a huge favorite. They were really well done. There was a lot of them too. So we got to see many different people fighting many different other people throughout the whole episode. It was just great to see some old fighting styles, some new fighting styles again, and just to see different dynamics of people working together. It was great to see it, and I definitely missed it. And it definitely had me remembering the other major fight scenes with Damien, Dark, and Oliver on the streets, when you had the streets filled with fights. Also with Season 2 finale, when the Mirakuru army was fighting the Team Arrow and the League of Assassins. So it was very interesting to see the major fight scenes for that. Another favorite of mine was Slade Wilson's betrayal actually being a part of Oliver's plan. When it first happened, I was like, oh, come on, no. And it was just like, he can't, it's like, you kind of expected him to betray Oliver, but then to find out that it was just all a plan, it's just like, oh, now I'm really questioning just whether or not Slade is actually an ally or not, but he's slowly proving that he is. But it was great to see that that betrayal was part of their plan. And Nisa was also in on it as well. Another favorite of mine was actually seeing the flashbacks coming full circle. It's great to see that the flashbacks ended off where we first saw Oliver back in the pilot episode. So it's great to see that now we know exactly what happened in Oliver's 5 years of isolation, or supposed isolation. So it's interesting to get the conclusion of that story, but it also opens up new questions, which I'll bring to in predictions. But the last thing I also liked in the episode was Felicity's kiss to Oliver. Aside from the whole explosive thing, it does open up to the fact that they really are willing to try things out again between them. So it just gives us hope, and the explosive kind of ruins it, but it still gives hope to the fact of where their mindset was in regards to the two of them. So there's that. Moving on, though, to top 3 peeved moments. A huge peeve of mine has to be Prometheus' suicide. Though that move definitely showed how determined he was to destroy Oliver, I did not like the fact that Prometheus ended things on his terms. I would have preferred if Prometheus' defeat was done in a way that he had not expected. Since he always claimed to be 10 steps ahead of Oliver, I would have loved it if Prometheus was defeated in a way that Prometheus never would have expected or never would have anticipated from Oliver. Instead, Prometheus killing himself was always in his game plan. That was always a step for him to take to prove his point or to make his final strike. And it kind of bugged me that in the end, Oliver pretty much played the game like Prometheus wanted him to. So that was a big peeve of mine for sure. Once I started thinking about the whole suicide thing from Adrian Chase. But at least with him, we know he won't be coming back and causing more chaos on Oliver's life. So there's that. Another thing that bugged me was the fact that the fate of Team Arrow is unknown. The explosives on the island kind of give you a did they survive or did they not survive moment. You don't know if you made it to the Argus plane or not. Don't know if any type of shelter underground would have been enough to save them from all the explosives, since we're given the impression that there's explosives all over the island. So the fact that pretty much everyone we've come to know for the last 5 years are stuck on that island, and the only person we know that is truly safe from those explosives are Oliver and William. Yet the fate of every other character we ever known is on that island. So that's kind of peeved me in a sense. So there's that. Aside from Lila's safe somewhere with her son. So there's that. Moving on to what moment will I remember most when I look back on this episode? The explosive cliffhanger. Like literally the explosive cliffhanger in the end would be the huge reminder for that, because it still surprised me that they even went that far. But you always hear about people always having explosive destructions of one set when you know that that's going to be the last time you see of it. Well, this literally destroyed the one set because they are done with the Lian Yu flashback. So, like, why not destroy the whole thing? So, there's that. Moving on, though, to random questions. First one was anyone on the island safe from the explosive? I think I mentioned that beforehand, but so if the explosives, I can understand any buildings and stuff like that on the island would make it unsafe for them to walk on top. But if they went to underground, if they went and found an underground safe haven from Argus, would they have been safe from that? Do they risk being buried by the debris because of the explosive? Was there anywhere safe on the island that they could have hidden out on as the explosives went off? That's my main question there. Another question is Malcolm Merlin really dead, or did he use Digger Harkness or one of his minions to set off the landmine that he was standing on for Thea, and that's the explosion the team heard as they walked away? I don't really think Malcolm is dead. Unless I see him actually die on screen, I'm not going to think he's dead because he has pulled the disappearing act before. So there's that. Another question, did William have no idea that Oliver was his father before his reunion with him? I mean, it kind of makes me wonder what Samantha has told him. In a sense, I mean, she has to tell him something as to explain why they had to leave, why they have to take different names and stuff like that. But there's that. And the last question. Assuming that people could survive that explosion on the island, did the people on Prometheus's team have a chance at surviving? I mean, the last time we saw Black Siren and Talia, they were knocked out in the temple, and we last saw Evelyn, she was locked up in a cage in the woods. So would they have even had a chance to escape the explosives, or are they kind of officially dead, considering the state they were last seen in? So there's that as well. But moving on to predictions, very quickly, I can't really predict much because of the fact it's the finale. But again, CW Upfronts revealed that Season 6 is going to air Thursdays at 9 p.m., a new time slot for them. So there's that. It's going to be returning in October, I believe, but hopefully we'll get new spoilers at San Diego Comic-Con in July. So be on the lookout for that. The only question I really have, though, is will the flashback concept that we've had for the last 5 years continue in Season 6? So there's that. And if that's the case, are we going to experience another time jump? Because then I can understand, because I was thinking back with The Flash, the way that it ended. I'm wondering if they're going to go with the time jump. Now, if they go with the time jump, that means that Arrow would have to go with the same time jump so that the two are aligned in the same present day so that crossover events can happen. Now, if it does that, then I could see flashbacks continuing on in the sense that from that time jumped new present day to the explosives, all that would be flashbacks of maybe the team surviving or trying to get back home. I don't know. But flashbacks were a huge part of the show and what makes it different from the other DC shows in this Arrowverse. So I'm wondering if they're going to keep up with that in Season 6. But that's pretty much all that I have in question. But what do you guys think of the finale? What do you think is going to happen next? And let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your own thoughts, theories, and predictions about what you think is going to happen in the upcoming season. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and check out my other videos if you haven't done so already. If you want to check out my Tumblr page, the link for that is down below. I read blog promos, web clips, quotes, GIFs, synopses, news, all that good stuff, all found in one place, so go check it out. It's a work in progress, but I try to keep up to date once I get logged on. But go check that out. It's also connected to my WordPress account. Link for that is also down below. Everything I post online will be connected to WordPress. It's a work in progress, but it's more organized over there, so please go check that out if you want to have a look. Otherwise, guys, that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your patience. Next time I'll post for Arrow will be when we get new spoilers from San Diego Comic-Con back in July. So be on the lookout for that, though. Otherwise, check out my other videos to pass the time. But until then, guys, this is Mel. Wish you all a great day, great week, wherever you are. Bye for now.